In this lesson, we're going to discuss InDesign's workspace. One of the big changes in this new version of InDesign is the whole new modern look of its workspace. The dark interface is very similar to both Illustrator and Photoshop. Now, if you don't like this new default dark interface, it's very easy to change. You need to go into Preferences. If I hit Command K on a Mac, Control K on a PC, and go to the third section, that's Interface. And you can see that by default, it's using the medium dark interface. If I don't like that, I can go to, let's say, the light interface. Or I can actually make my own totally custom interface just by clicking and dragging on the scrubby slider next to % and go all the way down to, let's say, 0. Well, that's really dark. Let me just hit cancel to get back to the default. What is a workspace and why is it so important? It's an organized arrangement of panels and your menus. Today, just about everyone works on a vast range of projects. Getting organized to handle this work efficiently starts with the workspace. Let me go through it. You can see that I have a bunch of panels docked along the right side. I have the control panel across the top, which is a contextual panel that changes depending on what tool or kind of object you have selected. Then there's the Tools panel to the left that has all the tools that I may need. There are different default workspaces. Let me show you. Right now, I'm using something called typography. If I click down on the workspace pop-up above the control panel, I can choose, let's say, Essentials. That's what InDesign uses by default. Let me click down again. And let's say I'm working on a book project. Well, there is a workspace called Book, and it has just about everything I'll need to work on my book. You can see it says index, there's hyperlinks, there's swatches, and so on and so forth. Let me go back to typography. What I tell people is to start with one of the default workspaces. Like, let's say I'm working on a print project. Well, half of print has to do with type formatting. So in that case, maybe I want to start with typography and then add or subtract panels that I may or may not need. Like, for instance, maybe in working on my layout, I want the Align panel because I'm going to be aligning objects in a layout. Well, if I go under my Window menu to Object and Layout, I can choose Align. And you can see it opens the Align panel docked together with the Pathfinder panel, which I may also want to use. And if I click from this bar above the docked panels, I can just drag it in. And when I get an insert line in my docked panels, that's where those two panels are going to be added in a group. But maybe I don't want Pathfinder. I can click and drag it out and just close it. Now, I'm not going to need hyperlinks if I'm working on print. Maybe I could just click and drag that out and close it. And now I'm ready to save my custom workspace. So I'm going to go under the workspace pop-up and just go to New Workspace. And I could name it, and it's going to remember not only my panel locations, but if I customized any of my menus. I'm just going to hit cancel. But if I had clicked OK, it would have ended up at the top of my workspace pop-up. Another thing that's really nice is, let's say somebody else worked on my computer and totally messed up my workspace. Let me do that. I'm just going to drag things out and put them all over the place, dock them, make it a total mess. And you can see if I drag to between two panels in a group and let go, I get an insert line between the two, and it's going to add it between the two. Well, how do I get back to my typography workspace? And you remember I also added a line. That's going to go away when I go to my workspace pop-up and go to Reset Typography. And I'm back to my default typography workspace. So it's very easy to get back to not only the default workspaces, but your custom workspaces as well, because you can always go to Reset under the workspace pop-up. Now, if I'm working away on a project and I need more space in the width and height to really see what's going on, I can make all of my panels go away temporarily just by hitting the Tab key. I can hit my Tab key again to get them to all come back. But let me make them go away again by hitting my Tab key. One of the nice things in InDesign is if I want my panels just temporarily, all I have to do is hover over the side that those panels are on. So if I go to my tools, you'll see that they pop up. If I go to my dock panels along the right, and let's say I wanted to open the character panel and do some work, I could do that. And when I go back towards the center of my interface, they go away. So they're just there when I need them. Let me hit my Tab key again to get my panels back in my workspace. Now, you may have noticed that I'm working on a Mac. If you're working on a Mac and your interface looks different and you want it to look exactly like mine, go under your Window menu to Application Frame and just check it. That puts all of the panels and documents into one window that I can actually change the size of the window to get out of the way. And then, of course, you can see all of the stuff on my desktop. And so it's kind of nice because it blocks all of the things that may be on your desktop that you just don't want to see because they're distracting. Well, some other advantages to Application Frame. One of the really cool things is if I double click with no documents open, anywhere in the black area in the center of my interface, it goes to Open File. And I can just open a file. Let me hit Cancel. Now, I'm going to open a couple of new documents. Just very quickly go to File, New Document. And I'm just going to use the defaults. Go to File, New Document. Open a second one. And I just wanted you to notice that they are tabbed and actually attached to the workspace. I could just click and drag out one of those layouts to see them both at the same time. But let me drag it back in. You're going to see I get a little insert line going all the way around. And if I let go, it's now docked together with the other tabbed document. Well, what if I didn't want to divide them apart like that and I wanted to see both documents? Well, I can go above my control panel to Arrange Documents and choose how I want them arranged. I'm going to click on something called 2 Up. And I have side-by-side documents so I can compare them. Really kind of cool. In the next lesson, we're going to continue talking about the basics of InDesign.